Whenever you guys want to order some discs, go to
discgolfmarket.com. Promo code HOMESLICE. Enjoy the video.
What is up, YouTube? What is up, YouTube? Home Slice is back with another review. This is Travis
And Brad.
We are here to give you a review of...
We are doing some middies today. We've got the Latitude 64 Compass. And what else?
the Innova Roc3.
The rims on these two. You can see that the Roc has a very large bead. It's not quite as large as what the bead was on the Anchor, but it's still a pretty big bead. The rim on the Compass, it's kind of similar to the Buzz if you felt a Buzz, but the Compass is pretty comfortable in the hand, and neither of them are very deep. Just kind of your typical mid-range. Just you got the big bead over here and no bead on the Compass.
All right, first up, we've got the Compass. We had it in Gold Line and in Opto. The Opto was definitely much more beat in. You can see how much straighter it is even on that first throw. The newer one was a lot more stable than I was expecting. It's almost, I would say it's almost comparable to the Verdict stability, which I was expecting it to be more Buzz-like. If you put it on an Annie, it'll fight out of it. Hyzer, it'll just ride it the whole way. A bigger arm, if you're throwing it flat, you might be able to get it to fly a little bit straighter. But that yellow one, it was a lot more straight. Once they beat in, I think this would be a really nice disc. But out of the box, that Opto was a lot more stable than I would have liked. Okay, we had the Roc3, and we only had it in Champion plastic, and sorry for the purple disc. It's kind of hard to see. It was pretty stable. For some reason, I was expecting it to be a lot straighter. I know the numbers show that it's pretty overstable, but I was just expecting it to be a lot straighter. It was... If you have a bigger arm, I'm sure you can get a lot more distance with it, but if you put it on an Annie, it's going to fight out of it. And these were both pretty fresh too, so I'm sure that's going to have some effect on it. Once they beat in, I'm sure you can get one that's going to be more similar to that Opto Compass that we were throwing. But out of the box, they're pretty stable. I mean, you could use this as your pretty overstable mid-range disc. It's way more stable than like a Buzz or something like that we've already talked about.
The Latitude 64 Compass. It says a fade of 1. That's the only thing I could disagree with. Is I think it's a little bit more stable. Not a lot more stable than that, but they're numbers, guys. The Compass, to me, is very stable. I shouldn't say very stable, but more stable than I thought it would be. I'd give it, like I think Brad said, was a Verdict stable. Right around there is probably perfect. So you throw it on a hyzer, it's going to end on a hyzer. Throw it flat, it's most likely going to land on a hyzer as long as the headwind's not too crazy. And hyzer, as you can tell on that release, I gave it to height, so it ends up fading out. Great disc, all in all. Very good glide. That was a big hyzer I just threw. I was throwing really well that day, nice and loose, and I mean, it was a bomber for me. I was really surprised by the distance I could get with this disc. Into a headwind, this thing fights it. I was really surprised. A great headwind fighting mid-range. There was that hyzer I threw. It glided forever, and if I remember correctly, this was into a headwind. Forehanding, smooth forehand. You can throw this thing 80 yards. I think that's what I was throwing, right around 80 yards. But it hyzer flips into a headwind, rides out and fades. Real easy. Be really easy on these when you're forehanding though. The Innova Roc3. Numbers are pretty spot on. I'd say it has a little less glide than the Compass, but that stability is pretty similar, probably a little bit more stable, honestly, especially when it slows down and it seems to fade pretty hard. Throw it on a hyzer, ends on a hyzer. Throw it flat, probably going to end on a hyzer. And Annie, it rides it really nice, but it fades a little harder at the end. Into a headwind, this disc is great. It fights it and typically fades out. So for me, on this day, I could throw this thing on a headwind or on a hyzer into a headwind, and it would flip straight up like that. You can see that, and it turns a little bit, but ends up fading. Sorry again about the purple discs; they're hard to see, but we didn't think about that. Another really good anhyzer flex there. It just keeps panning right, but it's pretty controllable and then fades at the end. Forehand, I say this a lot, guys. I did not like the feel of my hand. That big bead digs into my knuckle. Whatever. Other than that, if I was really soft with it, I got decent flights. There's wobble, but with that extra stability, it ends up fading out. There's another one. Flips up, a little bit of wobble. If you're easy on it, it should fly great for you.
Recap time for the Compass and the Roc. What did you like better?
I picked the Compass. Not a big bead guy, so the Roc immediately didn't feel comfortable with my hand, backhand or forehand. The Compass glided a little bit more for me. So it was just a little better forehand and backhand wise. Really dependable fade though, but if you like the stability and a big bead, the Roc3 is good for you. Unfortunately, I already have that part in my bag filled with an EMAC Truth, and so I'm not going to actually bag the Compass, but I would pick the Compass over the Roc3. What about you?
So I also like the Compass a little bit better. It was more stable than what I would like. I don't know. It felt better. It definitely felt more comfortable. That's really the reason. I'm not going to bag it either. I have the MD3s right now, which I can have 3 different ones and have some different flights out of them, which I think we kind of showed that with that Octo, because you could have that really straight, but that one's pretty old. It's been used for quite some time, so it feels a lot better in my hand, really. That's why I liked it. But like Trav said, if you like beads, the Roc3, I think you're going to be able to get the same types of shots out of both of them.
A lot of people throw Roc3s, so it's just us guys. It's just a preference thing with that.
Yeah, and you're going to be able to, once you beat them in, you're going to be able to get a lot more of those straight shots out of them. But yeah, I don't really like that big bead. It doesn't feel good in my hands. Yeah.
That's it. Hope you enjoyed. Like, subscribe to the channel. We've got an Instagram page if you haven't heard, Facebook page.
Yeah.
D-Town Disc Golf.
Yep. Thanks for watching.